Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Today's the big day, right? National Signing Day 2019 for college football. Now, there's a lot of different ways that I was looking at making a video for today. And there's so many teams that are signing great players all over the country, and everybody's got their eyes focused on, all the top dogs: Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma. Oregon's coming through with a huge class. Texas. There's just so many great storylines for today. And what I'm going to do is, on my live show that I do on Thursdays, I'm going to make it a call-in show, and I'm going to have, hopefully, some of you out there who are fans of some of these teams will call in and tell me how you feel about your signing class, and maybe give me some examples of some of the players that you're most excited about signing. Now, as far as Clemson goes, and that's what this video is going to be mostly predicated on, this is not a very exciting day as far as headlines for Clemson signing, because we signed 28 players total in this class, and 27 of them already signed back in December. So you're not going to see a whole lot of headlines as far as today is concerned about Clemson. But what I do want to do is talk about some of the players that Clemson did sign. And they're going to end most likely right around 10 or 9 or maybe even 8. We'll see what happens at the end of today in the national rankings. But I want to just give a little bit of insight into some of the more exciting players. I can't go through all of them. This will be an hour-long video. But I just want to point out some of the more notable players that we signed, some of the ones that I'm most excited about us signing. But before I do any of that, I want to give a special thank you to somebody real quick. First of all, I want to thank all of you for subscribing and watching and commenting and being so amazing and fantastic, as you always are. I also want to give a big shout out to all the Patreon members, all the people that have participated in the Patreon contest last month, and I announced the new one for this month on Thursday. So I was at work this morning. I got a notification on my phone, and it was from the Sports Fury. And anytime they upload a video or do a live stream, I'm always tuned in. But it was a special thank you to content creators. And these guys, I can't really put into words, first of all, how great they are. They're NFL guys, but they also do NBA and other sports. They're just sports YouTubers. But they've been kind enough to have me on a couple of times during this season. When I was, and I'm a nobody on YouTube. I'm starting out. I'm still only less than a year and a half into doing YouTube videos. But these guys were kind enough to recognize, or at least I hope, they recognize my passion for both college football and NFL football, and my passion for making YouTube videos, and the grind that I put in. And so they had me on a couple times this year. And then today in their content creator thank you video, I was lucky enough to be one of the ones that they recognized on there and said a lot of kind things about me. So thank you to both Josh and Sean. You guys are amazing. And I really look forward to working with you guys in the future. But it really meant a lot to me for somebody, a small guy like me on YouTube, for them to acknowledge what I've done and what I bring. And so thank you. You guys are amazing. If you guys don't know who they are, go check them out. That's all I can really say. And there's a lot of other, Catfish and Uncle Lou and Jet Central and Spencer from Rover Sports and Luca from the Waterboy Report. These are all guys that have collaborated with me in some way or another. And it's humbling that these people would care enough and to ask me on their show, or call in to my show or whatever. You guys know how I feel about people like Catfish already. But anyway, so let's get into this. Thank you guys, all of you. Let's get into the some of the more exciting Clemson pickups that we've got for the 2019 class. So everybody knows we lost a lot on defense, and some of the big areas of need were positions like, excuse me, I'm burping. Some of the positions like cornerback. So the highest rated recruit that we've signed in the 2019 class across the board is a guy named Andrew Booth, a 5-star cornerback, defensive back, and he's the 8th overall recruit in the entire nation. Now, the thing that makes this class special, and every class is special, we have, I think, now 5 consecutive top 10 classes. And that's a big deal for a school like Clemson. And you can see the results of that paying out on the field. It's not just about recruiting, although recruiting is huge. So anybody who tells you that recruiting is not a big deal, Miami, you're lying to yourself. It's a huge deal, okay? Anything in the top 10 is should be something any school should be proud of, okay? I mean, but teams like Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State, they're killing it. Oklahoma, Texas, even killing it year after year the past few years. But Clemson's consistent, and they're consistent with getting the positions that they need when they need them, and getting top tier players, and the ones that aren't, necessarily the top tier when you look at the ESPN 300. But they may be a 3 or 4 star, but they end up being elite players. But Clemson signed 14 of the nation's top 300 players in this class, and that's a big deal considering the fact that we're loaded all over the field with top-tier talent. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier about what we've done this season as far as recruiting goes. But Andrew Booth, the biggest one on defense that you can think of. Now, the defensive line that we're losing to the NFL this year is going to be backed up by players that have been, for the most part, we're going to be plugging and playing. I've already spoke at nauseum about players like KJ Henry and Xavier Thomas, who are going to take over 2 of the positions on the defensive line, defensive ends, to take out what we're losing in Farrell and Bryant. But anyway, so big deal to get Andrew Booth. Now on offense, oh man, talk about what wide receiver U is just continuing to live up to its name. Any other school out there who wants to pretend and claim as if your wide receiver university, back off. Nobody believes you. I mean, look at what we've got in our wide receiving unit. It's almost unfair. And we're just adding to that with this class. Frank Latson, 4-star wide receiver out of the state of Florida, the 39th overall player in this class. Joe Ngata, 4-star wide receiver out of the state of California. I'm so excited about Joe Ngata and getting a player of his caliber out of the state of California. The 52nd overall recruit in the country. The offensive line, so we lose Mitch Hyatt. We're going to have Jackson Carman, who was recruited last year, a 5-star out of the state of Ohio. He'll take over most likely Mitch Hyatt's position. But we have another guy who's an offensive guard, William Putnam, a 4-star player out of Florida, the 101st overall recruit in the country. Now, we're so deep at running back right now, deeper than we've ever been as long as I can remember. Definitely, listen, I was born in 80, all right? So probably since then, this will be the deepest we've ever been at running back. Obviously, we have Travis Etienne. I don't know what's going on with Feaster. I think he's still going to stay there. Lynn J. Dixon, this guy was a late signee last year and is an amazing talent. He will be somebody that the whole country knows about next year. Lynn J. Dixon is an immense potential to be an elite running back. And then on top of that, we go out and sign Michael Duke or Michelle Duke. I hope I really don't want to butcher this guy's name. It's Michel, sort of like Michelle, Sony Michelle. I'm going to say Michelle. I don't know. Maybe it might be Michael. Somebody's going to come on here and tell me how I'm an idiot and whatever. That's fine. Anyway, this guy's a 3-star running back out of the great state of South Carolina. And the comparisons that I hear about people making for this guy is that he's a lot like Warwick Dunn. He's a shifty, Barry Sanders type of guy. So really looking forward to what he can add to the Clemson offense in the future. And another 4-star running back, Chez Malusi. Chez, I don't know. Like the Chase Lown. Maybe it's Chase. I don't know. Another one I can't pronounce. All these names, man. But 4-star running back out of the state of Florida, man. We just cherry-pick Georgia and Florida like nobody's business. And that should be a big red flag to all you Florida State, Florida, and Miami fans out there. The way we just go in there and just pick your best players out of the state of Florida and Georgia year after year after year. I know it makes you mad. I know it makes you real mad, doesn't it? Anyway, this guy, listen, this guy last year in high school had 3 straight 200-plus yard rushing performances in high school. Yeah, that's right. 3 straight 200-yard-plus performances in high school. Can't wait to get this guy on campus and see what he can do. Now, a position that nobody really thinks about at Clemson until this past year, because every year for the past, I don't know, well, let's look. When did Watson come in? 15? So, or 14? Sean Watson, Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence. We had Hunter Johnson, who was the #1 overall recruit at that position the year that he came in. All he did was get beat out by Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence, and so he ended up going to a Northwestern. God bless him. I'm a huge Hunter Johnson fan. But with all the people that transferred out, Tucker Israel, all these guys that transferred because Trevor Lawrence came in, we're thin at quarterback. Chase Bryce came in last year, saved the season against Syracuse, and he's an amazing talent, and we're glad to have him, and we're glad he's going to stick around. But we need depth. Okay, so if something happens to Trevor, God forbid, during the season as far as an injury, and we need somebody to step in for a game or 2 or 3 or whatever, we need depth at quarterback. So this guy, Tyson Famanuka, God almighty, these names, I'm killing. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me with these names. I'm butchering every single last one of them. I don't think I've got a single one right yet as far as pronunciation goes. Anyway, 4-star quarterback out of the state of Connecticut. This was the #1 rated dual threat quarterback in this class in the country. And I looked at some before I came on today, and actually throughout the year as I've been hearing about this guy, I went and looked at some highlight videos of this guy's high school career, and he reminds me a lot of Watson, quite frankly. I mean, this guy's got legs for days, and he's got a good arm too, and he's pretty accurate. But super excited to have somebody that's willing to come and compete for a quarterback job in case something happens. I mean, this guy has all the potential in the world to be an elite player. So really looking forward to him coming in. I guess that's the guys that I'm most excited in seeing, and there's so many more. I mean, like I just said, we signed 28 total, and so I could just go down the list of all of them, and I feel kind of bad for leaving some of the guys out of this video, but I just can't. The video, I might need to make more videos about this. But those are the guys that me personally, that I'm most excited about signing. No disrespect to any of the rest of the signees. Any signee that comes to Clemson and wants to play for the Paw and be all in and be a part of the amazing thing that we have going on there, I have a lot of respect for every single one of them, and I don't want to leave any of them out. But these are the ones that I want to mention first and foremost. Now, there's a lot of speculation and opinions on how this signing day should work. So it used to be there was one signing day a year, okay? Just as much as just a few years ago. You had the signing day. It was today. It was in February, and that was it. Then they added an early signing period. Now, a lot of coaches out there don't like the early signing period. Some of them do. There's arguments to be made on both sides. Now, Dabo Swinney himself, and I think also Nick Saban, have come out and said that they like the early signing period in December. I really think there should only be one signing period. All right. And I think it should be in January after the season's over. Because for a lot of teams like Clemson and Ohio State and a lot of these teams that are playing, and not just those guys, I mean, there's 30 or 40 teams, bowl teams that are competing for big-time bowl games, in some cases playoffs in national title hopes. Other ones that maybe just be big New Year's Six bowl games that mean a lot to their school, okay? And they are out having to recruit during the bowl season to get these players to commit and sign with the early signing period. Now, the argument for the early signing period is that these kids can go ahead and get this thing out of the way. They've already committed, and they want to just go ahead and sign and get it over with so they can start planning. Right? So they don't have to wait any longer. I understand that too. But instead of having an early signing period in December when there's bowl games going on, and then another late signing period in February, 2 months later, how about we just cut it right down the middle, make it simple, and as soon as the college football playoff national championship game is played, maybe 2 weeks later or something, give the coaches a little bit of time to go out and do their final recruiting with the parents and all that stuff and visits, whatever. And go ahead. Some phone's ringing. People always like to call Pete whenever I'm doing a very important video. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Anyway, but go ahead and just and split it down the middle. And let's just do one, and let's do it in January. Now, I'm not opposed to I'm not opposed to the early signing period. I'm not. I mean, it's worked out good for Clemson. I mean, look, I just got done telling you, at 27 out of the 28 players we're signing in this class all came in that early signing period. But I just think that I hate to use the word fair anytime you talk about recruiting or sports, because there is no fairness in sports. It just is what it is. But I think that just make it more simple. Just make it in January for everybody. One day in January, and then you may have some sort of conditional thing that the NCAA could allow, where people that still aren't sure in January can maybe apply for some sort of late signing period, whether that's in February or whether it's in March or April. But there's got to be a deadline. Anytime, maybe it's not a certain day. Maybe it's just a window where they can make their signees and sign and commit to a school. If they're not sure in December or January, maybe just put a ceiling on it. Maybe it's April 5th or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, you get what I'm saying. Just allow these guys maybe a little bit more time if they're not sure in January. But having this, early signing day in February, and then one in February, in December, and then one in February. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I'm not sure. But it seems to be working out okay. But there's not everybody likes it. I think simplifying things like these signing periods is always in the best interest of everybody, the student, the coaches, the fans, everybody, and just so it can be more simplified. That's all. Anyway, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on today's Wednesday, so I'll see. Somebody else calling me again. Look at this. Look at it. Let me show you who's calling too. This is see that? Scam. Scammers. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live show. And call in, please. Call in and let me know who you're excited about your team signing, and if you're excited or very disappointed. It might even be better if you're disappointed about how your team did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Call and let me know if you're excited or disappointed, or who you're excited about your team signing, and how great you're going to be next year, or bad. Whatever. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete checking out.